The San Francisco 49ers take defensive end Mykel Williams out of Georgia, and I've seen the reactions, and they're on both sides of it. Some people really like the pick, some people not so much. But what I do know is when Baldy starts getting into the tape, it might help change your mind.
The newest 49ers is Georgia Bulldog Mykel Williams, just abusing this tight end right here, beating the tackle and getting to the ball carrier. Like, he did play last year with a high ankle sprain, which slowed him down. But he's a guy in Georgia's defense right here. Like, here he is. He can line up anywhere on the defense. Like, you watch him right here, and it didn't matter. Like, here he comes on a long looping limbo, and he gets the ball out. Like, he is strong at the point of attack. He's 6'5". He's 265, 270 pounds. He can play the three technique. He can play on the edge. You watch him, and wherever he lines up, he's a factor. Like, he's beating good players like Kelvin Banks, who's already been drafted, right? You watch him, look at that two-handed swipe. Two-handed swipe off there, bam. Now, sink your hips, drop, and get to Quinn Ewers right there. Another, getting the ball out. This guy, he was playing as a freshman on a national championship Georgia Bulldog team. All right? Like, you against right here. Excellent on stunts. All right? So you got Bosa on one side, Mykel on the other side, and here he comes. All right? We've seen that one. All right, let's watch one more play here because he is a dynamic player and he's strong at the point of attack. All right? You just look at wherever 13 goes. All right? And you're going to see, like, just they try to trap him right there. He gets underneath.
So I think what's really cool about this pick is he is just scratching the surface of his potential. 20 years old, playing for 3 years in the SEC, and producing. You know, I know he didn't produce the sack numbers that a lot of people wanted, and you look at the stat sheet and it's not super gaudy or anything like that. But I just think that when you look at Mykel and you look at where he fits into this defense, and you also pair that with Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch's comments, they want a guy who could be on the field for all three downs. And I think that means that not just being a pass rush specialist, they want a guy who can be a contributor in the run game. We saw with the 49ers defense, especially in the wide nine system, when you don't have an edge defender who can hold up in the run game, it makes things very challenging. Go back a couple years. Remember when Cleveland Farrell got hurt during the playoff run? And it really impacted the 49ers defense because they didn't have an edge setter on the opposite side of Nick Bosa. Well, now, according to Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch, they got the best edge setter in the entire draft, and he's only 20 years old. So you're getting a guy who's definitely going to be a problem in base downs. You see the arm length, you see the size. He has measurables that are very similar to Aldon Smith. And you also heard what they said about how he could be utilized. They said you can kick him inside and rush over the guard. So that got me thinking, well, this is a perfect opportunity for the San Francisco 49ers to keep going after more edge rushers in this draft, but they can go now and find pass rush specialists, maybe guys who aren't going to be in your base down packages. However, they can get after the passer. I think of guys that we had on our channel like David Walker, Femi Oladejo, these guys that have a high ceiling when it comes to rushing the passer. Now, I don't know if David Walker is going to be a 3-down defensive end, but he will absolutely be a stud rushing off the edge. So you can get creative. You go out, you get a pass rushing specialist. You are able to kick Mykel Williams to the inside, rush over the 3-tech, and then you get creative with it. So I'm starting to see the vision. I didn't love the pick. I didn't hate the pick either. It was just kind of like, I gave it a B. Because, you know, you're getting a guy who you're betting on some of the potential. He's a little bit raw, especially as a pass rusher, but he can develop at the next level. But when you start to understand kind of how they were thinking about it, it starts to make more sense. And I can start to rationalize it better. And I'm going to be able to rationalize it even better when I start seeing more clips like what Baldy's breaking down and when I have a chance to dive into the tape. So I'm curious to know what you guys think about this pick. You've had a night to sleep on it. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And as always, make sure to like and subscribe for more updates.